Hello, how you doing, YouTube? This is your girl Kendra, aka KD, aka DJ Fish Grease. Told you I was gonna get some new nicknames, and I did not bestow that one on myself. Trust me, I was giving it. But I'm coming at you a little sooner than I thought I would be. Finally got the stupid video editor to work the way I wanted it to, because I wanted music in the background playing, and then it was giving me trouble, so I had to, roll up my sleeves and do stupid stuff to the app to make it work, but here I am. But anyway, today I wanted to talk a little bit about black women and just ignoring black men. Just ignore them. What am I talking about? This hasn't been inspired by any particular thing, just something that I usually notice it all over YouTube, notice it in real life as well, that black women, among other things, have a narrative. And they have a narrative about why some black men, or why many black men, have issues and difficulties choosing black women to settle down with, to make them their wives, to make families with them, and make a relationship work even through tough times. And the narrative follows. Black men are color struck. They like white women. They don't like black women. They complain about black women, but they don't really like black women and don't really want to choose the black women because they are black. And they hate themselves and their mothers. Further, the narrative goes, no, that's pretty much the narrative. They like white women, and that's why they don't like black women. And it's got something to do with colorism, and has something to do with not liking dark-skinned black women, and kinky hair black women, and strong black women, and independent black women, and just don't like black women at all. And that's why they don't choose them. That's why, there are very little marriages and very many children out of wedlock, and all of these different things. And that narrative has been going pretty strong. It hasn't abated yet. And it's been going strong even in the face of black men coming out more and more to say for themselves exactly why they have the difficulty that they do when it comes time to choose a wife, when it comes time to settle down and choose to build a family with a woman, that they have difficulty choosing black women. Some of them so much so that they are willing to go outside of the race, be that a white woman or a Mexican woman or whatever, an Asian, whatever, doesn't matter. And so this is where ignoring black men comes in, because if the men give you a reason or a list of reasons why they're having such difficulty, and you shoo that reason away in favor of the narrative that you have created for yourself, which puts the blame on them and the onus on them, this is what I'm talking about. That whole narrative. When they've come out to say, and you continue, you're ignoring them. You're ignoring them. So now we can get on to what have they said about why it's difficult to choose black women when it comes down to family. Because notice, they don't have problems choosing you to screw. They choose you for that. They choose you for that. And that pretty much goes along with the way men work, because the warm hole and who it's attached to doesn't quite matter when they are kind of on their sowing wild oats type thing and they're not looking for a wife. And then furthermore, they treat you how you have presented yourself. So if you've presented yourself as somebody that's just gonna be that warm hole, but you don't bring much else to the relationship table, well, they'll just say, well, she's not worth having a relationship with. I'll just hit it a couple of times and then I'll move on. So, getting down to what they have said, the number one reason or the number one complaint that the men have had is the overall attitude of black women. And what do I mean by attitude? The attitude where we are rather unfriendly. And the attitude directed towards them specifically. The other thing that they've complained about, and this probably should have been number one. This probably should have been number one. But it ties so closely into it. The non-cooperative nature and the lack of ability to submit or follow a lead. Now, that one actually is really important. It's really important. And I was thinking I would do a separate video, but these topics for me are intertwined. So we'll start with those two things, the attitude and the uncooperative, unsubmissive nature. Now, being who I am, growing up in the hood, in the dirty hood, there is a level of callousness that you need to have, even if you are a female. Because if you are too nice, too accommodating, too amicable, it's easy to target you as a soft target for being bullied if you're younger, or just being harassed either by the other women, or even sometimes the men. So you learn early when you live in the hood to put your hood face on. Put your mean mug on. You walk down the street, kind of got a mean mug, people, so they'll know don't bother you. You don't want to be bothered, and you don't want to be approached. Now, I'm the master of a mean mug. I mean mug the hell out of somebody. I'm rather unsociable. Like, I don't really like socializing. Pretty much an introvert. However, I do find myself in these past few years being more mindful about that mean mugging and that aura when I am interacting with black men. And the reason that I have switched it up and I soften when I'm around black men is because even though I'm not flirting with those men, I'm not going to try to have a relationship with those men, we're not going to have any sex or anything. We might speak to each other and then that's it. Because I'm talking about in passing, or taking an Uber and the driver happens to be a black man. You go to the store and your cashier happens to be a black man. Or just chance encounters when you are out and about. And I've learned to soften. And the response has been awesome pretty much all the time. And I do that because we as black women have a stereotype that is attached to us. And it's not good. We are known for cussing you out, cuss you the hell out, fighting, being rude or crass, and things of that nature. So all of those things have negative connotations to them. None of them are ladylike or womanly or feminine. None of those things I named. Being ready to fight, being confrontational, and all of those things out in public, out and about. We're known for not taking very good care of our children, things of that nature. We have a lot of negative connotations attached to us. And even though I don't do those things in my life, the connotation sticks to me because I am a black woman and people don't know me. So since they don't know me, they don't know that I don't do those sorts of things and that I'm not super confrontational, I'm ready to curse you out at the drop of a hat, I have to portray myself in a better light during each interaction. And I must say, the black men respond very well to that. And they're not overly flirtatious. They don't become crude or rude or over sexual, or I actually get quite a bit of respect. And if I simply speak first, hello, how are you doing? Give them a little smile. You don't have to be cheesing and grinning and skinning every time a man looks at you, but you can be amicable, you can be courteous, you can put out an aura of, friendliness to a certain degree, that you're not a stone wall. And our men like that, because I know, or I can pretty much guess, that the black women that he encounters or the women in his life are probably not giving him a positive vibe. They're probably not interacting with him in a way that he feels respected, or in a way that he feels like he's not having to be completely on the defensive all the time. So that's with the attitude. And that attitude that we carry with our men leads them to be defensive all the time. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to interact with you. And this might be why they are more readily to interact with a whore, with the known whores, because at least she's a whore. At least you can get one thing out of her. You can approach her for that if you can't approach her for anything else. And then now on to the cooperation and submission part. And these are the words that you don't like. Submit, especially submit, and cooperate and follow. Because you get right up in your lady gooch when somebody says it to you. You get your hair stand up on the back of your head. Your weave stiffen up when somebody says submit. And you automatically react that way, especially when we are talking about submitting to a black man. Okay? And the defense mechanism is to say, well, they don't give us anything to follow. How he gonna lead me? He's not even being a man. As if you know how to be a man. You don't even know how to be a woman. We'll get to that in another video. You don't know how to be a woman. You have not the slightest idea about womanhood, because if you had an idea about womanhood, you would understand that the act of submitting to your man, not just any old man walking down the street, but your man, if you're married, your husband, if you're in a long-term relationship, your man, You don't understand your womanhood, because if you did, you would understand that the act of submitting to him actually encourages and inspires him to be the best man that he can be for you. Okay? But you're too busy trying to force him to be the man you want him to be, or you think he should be, or give you what you think you deserve, or what you think he owes you, or something like that. It's always some cockamamie bullshit that you think. And I know you don't like what I'm saying. I really don't care, but you need to hear it. And you need to hear it from another female, because these men are telling you and you're ignoring it. The act of submission in a marriage or a long-term relationship on the part of the woman encourages a man to do that which he is driven to do anyway as a man, and he'll do it without resenting you for trying to force him to do something that he does not want to do for you. I was married 2 decades, successfully and happily. Okay? And I say was married because I am now a widow. But I practice the art, and it is an art form, of submission. And I'm not particularly a submissive woman. I don't, bow down and kowtow and stuff like that. However, I do understand that you get, why are you trying to force or get something through force that you can get through ease? Because when men are met with resistance, their first instinct is to fight it. Okay? When men are met with resistance, their first instinct is to fight. They do not want to submit. They do not want to give in. They want to fight. And when you are busy arguing with your man, everything he does is wrong, everything is stupid, he wants to fight. And I don't necessarily mean physically, sometimes that too, because your mouth is crazy and you like to hit something. I know some of y'all like to hit, but I'm not really talking about that. He's gonna buck against what you're talking about. If you argue at him about not coming home at night or what time he comes home, guess what he's going to do? He's gonna not come home, if nothing more than to spite you for arguing at him about not coming home. He doesn't have to. You can't make him. Your nagging and arguing actually does the opposite of what you think it should do. Because you'll be arguing about him and, well, what bitch is you with? And he'll stay gone, and you know what he'll be doing? Somewhere sitting in his car. That's what he'll be doing. Somewhere sitting somewhere, not talking to nobody really. Might hang out with his friend if he got a couple of friends. He don't really be with a bitch. He don't gotta be with another woman. Just away from you. Why is he getting away from you? Because you don't cooperate, you nag, you argue. You don't want to talk, you want to argue. You don't want to communicate with him. You want to make him do what you want him to do. And any man worth the salt going bread not gonna let you do that shit. He's not going to allow it. There's gonna be a part 2 to this. I can feel it coming, because I'm heating up grease, and I don't know if I got enough time to really say what I want to say in one sitting. But I'll round this particular one off with this, and yeah, it's probably gonna be a part 2 to this one. You're gonna have to learn how to submit, ladies. This is why you can't keep your man. This is why he won't stay. No matter how many kids you shit, he's not gonna stay because of you. Part 2 coming up.